8 days after the Church watched Mary rise body and soul into heaven, it makes an even bolder claim, that her Assumption ends in a crown. Today, August 22, the Church celebrates the Queenship of Mary, a liturgical memorial that deliberately falls exactly 1 week after the Solemnity of the Assumption on August 15, tying the two feasts together on purpose. Mary is assumed into heaven, and Mary is crowned Queen of the universe alongside her Son, Jesus Christ, King of all things. Devotion to Mary as Queen is nothing new. For centuries, religious communities around the world have prayed the Hail Holy Queen every single day, a prayer that already called her by that title long before Rome made it official. That formal step came only in 1954, when Pope Pius XII instituted this feast through his encyclical Ad Caeli Reginam, published during a Marian year that also marked 100 years since the dogma of the Immaculate Conception was proclaimed. Pius XII originally placed the celebration on May 31, but the calendar reform that followed the Second Vatican Council moved it here, to August 22, precisely so the Church would feel the connection to the Assumption 8 days earlier every single year. And notice what the Church is not saying: Mary's queenship isn't an authority she claims for herself, but a title she receives as the mother of Christ the King. That single distinction is why generation after generation of Christian artists returned again and again to paint her crowned in glory. Her queenship teaches something quietly powerful: real honor is never seized, it's given, and it flows from who you belong to. In that same spirit of honoring what a mother is willing to endure, the calendar of August 22 also carries the story of a mother who climbed her city's walls just to watch her son die well. This is Saint Symphorian of Autun, born in the 2nd century in Autun, in what is now France, the son of the senator Faustus and his wife, the blessed Augusta, and beheaded on this very day, August 22, in the year 178, while still a young man. While studying in Autun, Symphorian refused to bow before a pagan procession honoring the goddess Cybele as it passed through the city, and tradition says he went further still, asking for tools to help tear the idol down himself. That defiance brought immediate arrest by the provincial governor Heraclius. Symphorian was flogged and reminded that, as a nobleman's son, he could walk away simply by recanting, but he would not. The most unforgettable moment of his story came at his execution, when his own mother, the blessed Augusta, climbed the city walls to see him one last time, calling down that he should remember his God and hold firm to the very end, a scene later immortalized in a painting by Jean-Auguste-Dominique inside Autun Cathedral. Bishop Euphronius later built a church over his grave, giving rise to the historic abbey of Saint Symphorian. His life still speaks to any young person asked to stand alone. Courage is rarely inherited quietly, it's spoken over us by someone who loves us enough to say it out loud. On this same day, but in a different corner of the crumbling Roman world, another young Christian faced the same test Symphorian did, and answered it with the same refusal. This is Saint Timothy of Rome, who lived in the early 4th century and died a martyr around the year 311 or 312, during one of the last brutal waves of persecution the Roman Empire unleashed on Christians before the Edict of Milan finally granted religious freedom in 313. Timothy was known across the city for his tireless, fearless public preaching of the gospel at a moment when that alone could get a Christian killed, and when Roman authorities confronted him and demanded he offer sacrifice to the empire's pagan gods, he refused outright. The punishment that followed is remembered as one of the most brutal martyrdoms of that entire era. Timothy was flayed alive, his body then covered in caustic quicklime that burned him from the outside in, and only then was he finally beheaded, a prolonged, deliberate ordeal meant to terrify Rome's Christians into silence. It did not work. His cult spread widely through Roman Christianity in the centuries that followed, and he is honored on this same date alongside Saint Symphorian, two young men, worlds apart, who both refused to trade their faith for their lives. And with that, we close today's saints. If Mary's crown, Symphorian's courage, or Timothy's endurance moved you, follow Saint of the Day, like this video, and comment asking their intercession for someone you love, because every like, comment, and share like that truly is a small act of evangelization. Share this video with someone who needs it today, and remember, the complete prayer to each of them is right here in the description.